It's the new year. Welcome. I figured I'd start this year with something I think every BattleTech channel is sort of legally obligated to do, and that is opening one of these salvage packs. When I was in Finland for the holidays, I went to my friendly local game shop. It's called Fantasiapelit in Helsinki, and they actually had salvage boxes. I've never actually seen salvage boxes in the flesh before, never. They're always sold out in every store I go to, online and otherwise. You can find them on eBay and stuff, but they're pretty expensive. And I was very surprised to find that they actually had some salvage boxes in Fantasiapelit. And I had to get one. And I did only get one. Let's open this guy up. I've already removed the tape here. Let's check out the Mech. It is, that is the Stone Rhino Behemoth. Well, isn't that some luck? Because when I was getting into BattleTech for the first time, the Stone Rhino was actually one of the first designs that really caught my eye when I was looking at the models. I thought it was just very cool with its huge guns and chicken legs, and I was very much reminded of Metal Gear Rex from Metal Gear Solid, which is one of my favorite games ever. I think my tastes have changed and refined since then. I think when it comes to chicken leg walkers, I do maybe enjoy the Locust and the Marauders more than this one, but this is a welcome addition to my collection, especially because I think the Marauder 2, which I got in the Secret Santa box, is in the same star pack as this one, so that's quite fortunate. And I also don't really want any of the other mechs in that box, if I remember correctly. Oh, and also I totally just lied there. I actually knew exactly what was going to be in the box. Not before I bought it, but I did open it actually like a week ago, because I'm an impatient person. I just couldn't help myself. Oh well. So now that that's out of the way, and I've ruined the fun and excitement of opening a blind box by admitting that I told a lie and I actually knew what the box had, we can get to the other topic of this video. That's in the title, of course. But are these things actually good for the consumer, for Catalyst Game Labs and BattleTech? Let's have a little bit of a talk about it. I do hope to see some comments down there. What do you guys think? I'm sure if you're a video gamer like me, you know all about the loot box discussion. I will mention that I very much echo the sentiments of people like James Stephanie Sterling, who's very critical of them. Of course, these things aren't digital, so at least you know that you're getting something of value. Like, this is going to be a mech. It's going to be some mech. You don't know which, but you are going to get a mech, at least. And a nice one at that, because they're the new Catalyst Game Labs ones. So you know you're getting a quality miniature, at least. And it's a miniature that if you don't like it or if you don't need it, you can always sell it to someone else or give it away as a gift or whatever. Also, from the hobby point of view, a plus side would be that maybe if you get something unexpected, so a mech that you didn't know you wanted or wasn't going to get anyway because you didn't like the last box it comes in or something, maybe you can take your collection and your game in a different direction. So I do find that a valuable perspective and a valuable thing. And I will admit, of course, it is fun to open a blind box. Of course it is. Who doesn't like opening a blind box? So I do feel like that's quite a lot of positives for the consumer there. There are a couple of negative sides. I'm sure you already know what I'm going to say. But first, I'd like to start with the price, which I don't think is insignificant. I think it's a little bit better in the States, where these things are a couple of dollars cheaper. I bought this in Finland. It was €9.60, almost €10. Sounds like a lot, and it is, because with a couple of these, 2 or 3 actually, you're going to be able to buy a full lance pack, and you're going to get the exact mechs you want in that one, and you're gonna know what you get. Maybe you're even gonna get some extra stuff you could sell. With these things, you just don't know what you're getting. And that ties into the fact that I do want transparency, and I do want that consumers know what they're buying. Like, maybe, let's say you hate the Banshee for some reason. I don't hate the Banshee, never played a Banshee, I like the idea. But let's say you hate the Banshee, and you're buying salvage boxes, and for some reason you just end up getting Banshee after the other. Now you've spent tens of dollars on something you didn't want because you hate the model. Of course, you can always sell them or give them away, but you're still spending money on something you don't want and you're not going to use. Is that something you want to do with your money and time? I don't think so. I mean, of course, it's all right to get one of these or a couple of these if you know what you're getting into. I mean, I think you should have a plan. You should have an idea of what you want to do with the mech that you get out of it. For example, I figured that I'm not going to sell whatever is in here. If it's something new, even if I don't like the looks of it, I'm going to try to see if I can fit it into my company and maybe gain an appreciation of the mech, the model. And if it's a double of something I already have, I could always try to do like a full repose of the mech and maybe try to convert it to a different variant or something. So I do think you want to know what you're doing when you buy one of these. Now, as for one more question in this video, should Catalyst Game Labs be selling something else in place of this? Now, I'm no businessman, obviously, but to me, it just feels like Catalyst Game Labs might be leaving a little bit of money on the table. Like, they don't offer any way to buy individual minis, mechs directly from them. Why not? Why not? I mean, they do have the premium miniatures, of course, but they're very expensive and not everyone is going to want them. I do feel like they're selling all of them, which is great for them, I guess, but not everyone is going to want them. But I feel like a lot of BattleTech players are going to want individual minis. And it just seems to me that that sort of opens the door for people to do stuff like buying box sets and lance packs and star packs and putting them individually online for on eBay or something, just to make a little bit of money out of BattleTech fans. I do hope that people aren't so cynical, but you know, I'm sure they are. Anyway, I don't have a problem with proxies and 3D printed stuff as long as they're their own designs and or they have the license to do it. I mean, obviously, like the half the content on this channel is proxy stuff. I do think proxies and people being able to buy and be accepted to be playing with proxies is very important for the scene. I think it keeps it healthy and very much gives options to the consumers, which I think is very a very good thing. But it just feels odd to me that Catalyst Game Labs as a business doesn't want a slice of that pie of those individual mechs. But what about a salvage box? What about the salvage box with a window, like the lance boxes? I have the command lance, which I also got over Christmas in Finland. They have the window here, and yes, they're primed already. They have the window here. Why don't we have a salvage box that has a window? Like the mech inside can still be random, but you can see what's actually inside. Now, I don't know if it's like a production issue, maybe it's too difficult to do, or maybe they're afraid some mechs are just gonna collect dust on the shelves. Could be. But I would think that would just be a bit of an improvement in the way of like how transparent these products are. That people know exactly what they're getting for their money, which isn't, like I said, I don't think it's an insignificant amount of money. Or maybe Catalyst Game Labs just doesn't see it as an issue. Maybe, I mean, these things do sell out constantly, so maybe it's not a problem for them. Maybe they aren't leaving any money on the table. In any case, I do appreciate that gamers, consumers have options. That's very important. I would love for them to know exactly what they're getting. What do you think? Would you like a salvage box with a window? Or do you think I'm just talking out of my ass here? I mean, I totally am, but you know. Anyway, that is pretty much the end of this video, the first of the year 2023. Thanks for listening and watching. See you next time.